Hey guys, this is Deb with Four Seasons Crafts. So yesterday we did a video using one of the 5 in colors. We used Parakeet Party, and those colors are going to be retiring next month, I believe. So I wanted to show you some cards that you could make using those in colors. So tonight we are going to make a card using Sweet Sorbet. So I want to show you the quilting technique, and some of you have probably seen it before, but it's a fun one, so it's always worth going in and doing. So I'm going to get out my silicone craft sheet here, and again we're using Sweet Sorbet. So this is a piece of 8.5 by 5.5, cut scored at 4 1/4, and we're actually going to make this card landscape. So we will go ahead and score this here, and we're just going to set that off to the side. And then we're going to use, if you have a pack, this is a 6 by 6 pack of paper, and these are the in colors. I think this one might be, I think I used it yesterday, and I can't remember if it is from this catalog or the last catalog, and I meant to look it up and I didn't get to that. But you guys are probably like me, right? You have lots of little strips and scraps. So we are going to make a quilted card using these scrap pieces of paper, because you can see I don't have a lot of sheets, so this is a perfect way to use your leftover pieces. So here is a whole bunch of different patterns of designer series paper, but all the same color. So I have a whole bunch of those that I either cut some of them into strips from, pieces, or I already had them. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this piece of cardstock, which is 3.5 by 5.5, and this is how you do a quilted card. So what we're going to do is we're going to take 2 pieces, and we are just going to lay them at a slight diagonal in the middle of the card. So you're going to take 2 pieces, and I will use these 2 here, and I'm going to put a small space in between. Now sometimes you can line them straight up together. That is absolutely another way to do it, and I think I did a video several years ago about showing it that way. But in this case, I actually want to show a little bit in between. Now let me give you a little tip. If you do make it so you do not have space in between, your best bet is to take this whole piece of paper and just cover it in glue, and then you can start putting these down. It's faster, but because we're going to make this so monochromatic in one color, I do want to have some of that white peeking through. So all I'm going to do is I am just going to take a strip of glue, which is why this little silicone mat comes in very handy, and I am just going to put a strip of glue and then just kind of wiggle it around a little bit, and again just make sure it's at an angle, and put that right like that. Now you could put the glue on the back, but this is the deal. If I do that, I kind of have to know where I'm going to end. Otherwise, I'm going to have a lot of glue in a lot of places. So you're just going to want to go kind of tip to tip there. And I am going to, again, I want to leave a small line. Now, so once you get the 2 kind of center pieces at an angle, then what you're going to do is take your other strips and you are going to line them up, differing pattern or differing, designs. Now you could make them all one on this side. No, it's right. It's your pattern. So, and then you're going to take a piece and put it maybe like this right here. Okay. The one thing you have to be careful of is when you get to these corners, and I will show you that. So we're just going to start by adding a little adhesive right here, and I'm going to make sure I get it on the edge. And again, just going to line it up, making sure that I have, the entire area covered, okay? Because what I don't want to happen is where I cut and then I have a piece that's not covered. So now I'm going to do this right here. And again, make sure you give yourself, I probably did that one a little too close to the other piece. I'm just gonna kind of push that down a little bit to get the glue going that direction. And same thing, take a strip here. And let's see what pattern. I just have my stack here, so I'm just gonna kind of run through them. Now what I wanna do is take a strip down this way again. And let's see, I think, oh, perfect. So I'm gonna turn it over because I don't necessarily want stripes and stripes right next to each other, if I can help it. But again, your pattern, you can do it any way you want. Now, you guys can do this. I've done this a lot on where the back is black cardstock. I use the basic black, and that's a nice pattern too. So whatever you want to do, totally up to you. And then we're gonna go right back down this way and I'm gonna cut this piece because you can see it's very long and I need a very small piece here. So again, just do that right there. Trying to keep, you know, the white as even as you can, right, on all sides. And then let's see if I can do this piece. So you can see this piece right here. So let me show you guys. So this one's, see how it's too thin? There's just a little bit not covering. So I'm gonna go with a thicker piece and do the same thing. And then you can see I get a completely covered edge. So I'm gonna just do that right there. And again, kind of move that around a little bit. And it might seem like this takes a long time. No, it's a little therapeutic, I think, but it doesn't take as long. I don't know. I don't think it takes as long as maybe it seems. Okay, so now we're gonna do the same thing, add our adhesive here. I'm gonna look for maybe one that's a little wider. In this case, I may need to add a little bit more over here. And let's go down a little bit too. There we go. And I'm just gonna lay that one, get it as close as I can to the edge there. There we go. And then we'll just do the same thing. Go down and add our strips. And again, you wanna go with the now you could do one size too in your strips. They could all be a 1/4 inch. These are anywhere from a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch. So I just took and put the paper anywhere in between there, and I got the different sizes. So again, whatever you prefer will work beautifully. Okay, almost done. And again, on this one, I'm gonna do similar. I'm gonna take this and rotate it and do the last bit here, going down. So again, no specific, you could do 3 stripes and then you could add these, but I'm gonna put them this way now. And then we are, oops. So you guys will have to tell me in the comments if you've ever made a quilted card before. I do think they're very pretty too, I will say. I think they look very nice. And they're just super easy. And you know, the kicker is you can take all kinds of scraps. So, you know, again, here we're using one color, but if you have something else, you could take all the different patterns from any paper pack if you wanted. Okay, so I have this one, but I think So I'm gonna kind of break my own little, I'm gonna do this one right up against there. It's not a big deal. All right, there we go. So it looks like we have a nice pattern here. So we're just gonna push that all down. I'm gonna move my scraps out of the way. And now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna take our scissors, and you just wanna make sure everything's kind of positioned correctly, right? Then I'm just gonna turn it over. And now I'm just gonna take my scissors and find a place to start here, right? And I am going to cut right along the edge of my cardstock. And then all those little pieces, now you can choose to take those, and I could probably get a second card out of them. Totally can. Or you can decide that you used your scraps and feel really good about that and just throw these away, which I think is probably what I'm going to do, is just toss these. But if you do, I would use them right away because they might have a little bit of glue on them. So I'm not sure I would put them back in any paper pack that you might have. So that's all we do here. You'll see it looks much, much better when we turn it over. Ta-da! Doesn't that look beautiful? I love it. So let me, this sweet sorbet actually looks like a nice little, oh, this almost looks Valentine. If you had a nice, kind of looks like a, colors are super pretty on there. Okay, so here we go. So this is now kind of our card base. Now I did want to tell you something else you could do is if you have an embossing folder, I'm just using this one as an example. I'm not going to actually emboss this, but you could put it in any one of your embossing folders and then actually get a pattern on it. So if you have like a quilted pattern, anything, and make it literally look like a quilt. So you can do that on here if you want as well. So what we're gonna do is we're actually just gonna put this right on our card. And I'm looking to see where it lines up because I'm actually gonna take one of our new greetings here and I am going to put in, I'm gonna do probably a million thanks. We'll just say, or maybe speedy recovery. I don't know, one of those two. And I'm going to stamp that down here. So this might have to go up a little further, or I might have to just take a strip off. I'm not quite sure yet. And then we're gonna emboss this. So it is rare that I ever emboss on a video because it is a little, it can sometimes be a little, don't want to say obnoxious, but it's loud. So you know what, we'll just, no, I think I'm gonna use a different one. I think I'll use this a million thanks. And you know what, you guys, I forgot my block. Hold on, hold that thought. All right, so I'm gonna go and grab, so it's gonna look like this, and we're just gonna put it right down there at the bottom. So let me grab a block. I brought it, I didn't know. Did you have it? All right, there is the block. And we're gonna use our Versamark here. Okay, so let's take this. So I'm using this stamp, but I didn't actually put the sticker on the back, but that's all right. We'll do that. We'll do that later. So I'm just gonna look at this and I'm gonna line that up right here at the bottom. And I just wanna make sure that that looks like it is straight, which I think it does. So here we go. It's a little blind. And then we're gonna put, we're gonna emboss it in white. So I'm just gonna tap this across. Oops, let's make sure. All right, I think we got good coverage there. And then we are just, oops, let me get this in the camera. And then we're just gonna put this right toward the bottom there. Okay, looks pretty good. And now we're gonna bring in our embossing powder. Let's get this out of the way here. And we will take this, and then we're just, now I did not use my little embossing buddy either. If you guys have one of those, do as I say, not as I do. I probably definitely should have used one, but so if you don't have one, they do have a set. I think it's kind of one of those things that if you do like to emboss, it's a good investment to make. Okay, I'm just gonna move that off to the side, and then I'm going to start our heat tool. Give it a chance to heat up a little bit there. Oops, okay, there we go. All right, so now what we're gonna do, I'm gonna grab some tweezers, and then we're just gonna hold this, and then we're gonna let the magic here. Again, you just run it back and forth on there. You can also go underneath it. I had to have this at 2 layers now, so we'll just do it this way. And then once we start to see it melt, I'll kind of show you guys that a little closer here. But that's all we're gonna do is go back and forth here. Here we go. So hopefully I'll bring it up so you guys can actually see. Hopefully you can see how it's just changing. Always exciting. Look at that. Lovely, lovely. Okay. All right, there we go. All done. So one of the things when you guys do the embossing, you always want to make sure that you, once it kind of makes that transition for the color, that you don't, I used to be like, oh, I'll just do it some more to make sure it really stuck. But what happens is it does end up melting it, and then it loses a little bit of its shimmer. Okay, so there we go. And just for any of you who don't know, so you take Versamark, and that's what you stamp with, and then you use embossing powder, and you sprinkle that over, and then just tap it out, and then use your tool. But you can emboss anything. It's quite nice. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we are gonna take our nice quilted card here, and we are just gonna put that right on the front here of our card. And then we're gonna add, I have this cute little paper butterfly that came in. It is part of, I think it's part of that the perennial and these paper butterfly accents, and you get a whole bunch of them. There are 40 in here. I mean, way more than you'll probably ever use. So that's really a nice thing that you can do. So we're just going to put one right here after we glue this down. And then all we have is we will put something on the inside, which would just be a piece of white cardstock to finish our card. So we just take this, and you are going to line it up. Again, just so you can see your greeting at the bottom. And we'll push that down. And then we will take our little butterfly here. Let's kind of bend his little body. Now, obviously, right, if you guys are sending this, you know, it's going to end up being flattened, right? But that's okay. You can just put a little too much glue right there. So we'll just kind of use our finger to get that aside there, and then And maybe, well, we'll do it this way, right there. But the nice thing is, even if somebody gets this, they're gonna see that the wings are up a little bit, even if it's mailed, they'll see that that's not glued down. So let me just get that off there. But there you have it. All right, now we'll add a few of our gems, just for a little sparkle. And then we are done, guys. Finish out our card here. And just add a little bit of sparkle here. And we'll kind of keep it all close to our focal point here, which is our butterfly. All right, that's it. I hope you guys liked it. I love it. I love using that patterned look, and it's super simple. If you have a paper trimmer and cardstock and glue, you are good to go, because you can put anything down here. You could take a little greeting that you already have. It doesn't have to be embossed. You could make this background white, and then this could be color, and then that way you could just stamp your greeting. So don't feel like you have to have embossing stuff if you don't have it. But all right, guys, there you have it. That's our card number 2 using Sweet Sorbet. So the next one we'll do, I'm not sure, we'll use maybe Starry Sky or Orchid Oasis to do our next card. All right, I think that's it. Thanks, guys, for joining. Take care. See ya. Bye.